dirty plant hoes and all you dirty plant enthusiasts out there. My name is Rachel, this is Heart-Shaped Leaves, and welcome to another episode of I'm Insane and Have Way Too Many Houseplants. But today we're going to do something extra fun because we're going to look at all of my terrarium houseplants, my terrarium begonias to be more specific. I've got quite a few of them, not an unreasonable amount, technically. I also think that I don't keep my terrarium begonias in like a typical way. But first, before we get into having a look at all of my terrarium begonias, I wanted to show you guys something really cool. My friend Darren, who happens to also be the operations manager at Steve's Leaves, he actually has a Etsy shop called Delirium Studios. If you guys listen to my podcast, then you would have already heard me talking about it. He does special effects for like haunted houses and movies and things like that. It says, I hope you like it, from Darren, and it's a little sticker for his store, Delirium Studios. Then we have a little thank you card that also has his Delirium Studios thing on it, so that's very cool looking. And this is what you guys are really gonna like. Does that smell like Darren? Usually when I have him smell things, he takes off. Smells are okay, buddy. Smells are good. Smells are good. Oh, here it is. You guys are gonna freak out. Are you okay with this? Oh. What do you think, buddy? What do you think about that? What do you think about that? It's definitely not food. If you think it's food, it's not food. You want to look inside the box? Here, I'll put it back here. You can go look at it. Oh look, maybe it's a bag of chips. Maybe it's food. So this is one of the items that you can find in Darren's shop, and it is probably one of the coolest planters that I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, I've talked about this before. Oh my gosh, look. It's even got like a little grate thing to keep your soil from falling out. He thought of everything. He thought of everything. I love it. I know a lot of people who collect plants that have this aesthetic in particular. This aesthetic. So if you guys are interested in a beautiful, lifelike skull planter, complete with drainage hole and also a plastic grate so you don't get soil everywhere. Very thoughtful. What do you guys think? This is really intense. This is really cool, and I cannot wait to freak my in-laws completely out with this. There's gonna be at least a 20 to 30 minute explanation about this, and it's gonna be fun. So thank you so much, Darren, and I am so proud to put this on my shelf. So this is my basic terrarium setup that I have here in my bedroom. It's not the perfect terrarium setup, and it's also not a super common way to keep the begonias because most people keep them in individual little clam bubbles or dome cloches, which I'll show you some of those as well. But these are some of my begonias that I just don't have individual bells for, or they don't like the high levels of humidity that a cloche can have, right? So there's like a general rule that I have. If a terrarium begonia is super fuzzy, like the picturata, the pustulata, or the soli mutata, then I don't have them in the dome cloches because they seem to rot easily. Leathery leaves like this leathery type of leaf on this chloristic to green form and the chloristic to red form, they don't seem to mind to be pushed up against a bell cloche or something like that. I thought about cleaning all this up so it looked perfect, but I wanted you guys to see that nothing's perfect, and I get yellowed leaves that are old that have just timed out. Leaves fall, and I have to like go through and kind of clean up the litter. I also got some new ones. This begonia acerifolia I just got from Mountain Orchids not too long ago, and it actually has dropped probably 50% of its leaves, so it's just now starting to come back. You can see a little baby leaf there. I don't know, should I pull them out and just all of them? Pull all of them out? Okay, so I'm gonna take these out one at a time and kind of just show you what's going on. I got this one from Mountain Orchids a while ago, and I'm gonna show you guys how dry this plant is. So this is my Begonia picturata, and I just kind of wanted to illustrate to you guys just exactly how dry I let this plant get. You can't see how dry it is. this begonia seems to be doing really, really well. So a lot of people freak out when they have a begonia like this and they feel like they have to keep begonias just in general super moist, but this one is like really dry. It actually probably needs to be watered right now. So I'm going to show you guys how I water them just as we go through. This will be like a tour slash small amount of care video. Okay, so it's like the ultimate in dry. So you get your distilled water right here, and I actually pre-treated this whole gallon with a diluted amount of Miracle Grow fertilizer. I got me a little, what do you call this? It's in the cake decorating section at the dollar store. I don't know what it is originally supposed to be for. I screw my little precision lid on there, and then I pick the begonia up and I kind of look for a dead space, I guess. And then I just water like this and kind of let it all saturate through the media without going super crazy and misting everything and making everything all gross on the leaves, because I don't think it really appreciates it. See, it's already draining out. I typically have little saucers in here for each one of my plants. So this is a begonia J. Call it what you want to. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's part of our crew because it's got the word hoe in it, just in case you're wondering. And I recently got this one from Mountain Orchids, and it's really been on the struggle bus since I got it. It's been doing the shedding a lot of the original leaves, but if you can see right here, this leaf is brand new. So it's adjusting well to my terrarium, but if you just looked at it, you'd be like, oof, this plant's in trouble. I know that it's just transitioning to my little terrarium environment. So I'm gonna check and see like how moist this is right around the perimeter, because I don't want to squash those angel hair roots bone dry. So same exact thing with the other. Doesn't have super hairy leaves, but I'm still just not going to really hose it down and get everything. What am I trying to say, dear?
You don't want to get the stems and the leaves wet.
Yeah, I don't want to get the stems and the leaves wet. So I just try to be really chill about it. And this table is like a cheap table, so I'm not worried about it getting water on it. And I'm a messy pig when I'm watering my plants, so. This next one is Begonia Soli Mutata. It's got a really cool, almost like, that's one of my hairs. So that's nice. It's got a really cool like lily pad type pattern. It's very corrugated also, very fuzzy feeling. I'm gonna check it to see exactly how moist it is. Bone dry. So I hope this is like illustrating to you, my homies, my dirty plant homies out there, that if you're thinking about getting into terrarium plants, it's okay if you're an underwaterer. I don't think that these plants will be a big problem for you. If you've got like a little cloche or terrarium that you found at Walmart or at Hobby Lobby, these kind of plants are not beyond your ability to care for. You can always wait and give it a try when you feel more confident, but you know. This one right here is the Begonia postulata, and it's also going through a bit of a phase. So I put this one into a Ziploc bag when I first got it. I did that with several, but this one in particular really did not appreciate touching the bag. I tried my best, but it touched it anyways. This is what happens right here to terrarium begonias when they get too much moisture on the leaves. Sometimes, not all of them, but sometimes. So that's what it looks like. We call that leaf melting, but it's growing new leaves. You can see right here in the center, so it's recuperating. And I moved it into the terrarium because I knew it wouldn't be as intense with the condensation. This is wet, so this must have been, and see, I still rely on my moisture meter. I can't feel crap with these nails. So that is Begonia postulata. Very cute, by the way. And this one's extra cute. I love when it has like this little hot pink hairy bits. Those are really nice. And the pattern on this is really cool. Okay, so this right here is my Begonia chloristicta red form, and it's the main reason why I bought the big tank in the first place. I didn't want to cut it a whole lot, and I wanted it to be able to grow like crazy like this and bloom and do its thing in there. It also enjoys being in a terrarium, but this is one of the kinds that have the nice leathery type of texture, to where if it was pushing up against the glass or up against a cloche, They don't melt quite as rapidly as something like the pustulata would, or the picturata. That's what's good about these guys. If you popped it in a cloche, I think you'd see really good growth under some nice bright artificial light. I don't overwater any of my plants, and that includes terrarium plants, and we're just gonna go full dunk on this guy. Because the stems on this Chloristicta aren't fuzzy at all. They're very cane-like, so I don't worry about really getting moisture on those. This is Begonia malachostica, and it is a recent purchase, and it seems to be loving the cloche life. So this is the, and forgive me if it's dirty, but this is like the bell cloche that fits over this plant right here. It's been doing really well inside the cloche. No kind of leaf degradation from touching the glass sides or anything like that. And this little guy next to it is actually the Begonia dredgii partita that a Instagram buddy sent to me, and it dropped every single one of its leaves that I ever thought about having. And we're just gonna see how it goes, because not everything lives, you guys. I have nice begonias, but sometimes stuff dies. It's just the way it goes. Look at how intensely cool this new leaf coming in right here is. Okay, so this is, and I'm embarrassed at how gross all my little cloches are, but this is my Begonia Raja. My Instagram buddy sent this to me, fogged up glass boxes. This is how I grow this begonia. It's in a cloche. That's a cat hair, you're welcome. The little tiny baby leaves are very cute. It's a very turtle shell type of formation here. I didn't realize how big these leaves would get and how quickly they would get that big. It was just a itty bitty teeny tiny baby when I first got it. But these little emerging leaves right here, you can see the hairs on those guys. Really, really cute. It's been getting along really well. It doesn't need to be watered. I just watered it a couple of days ago. I check on the little teeny tiny babies a lot more often than I do the rest of the gang. Okay, so this is my Begonia Amphioxus, and definitely a stunner, one of my favorites in my collection. Seems to be doing really well in a cloche type setting. You can see underneath, typically I'll have like a drip tray underneath this here. I absolutely love the shape of these leaves. Now we got a couple of leaves that are actually getting more mature. Check that out. That's pretty cool looking, huh? Very lizard-like. Wouldn't you say? Don't you think? That looked like some sort of chameleon type of issue. This is another way that I am growing the Begonia Burkillii Silver Edge. This was a leaf propagation that I put in there. Look at that old ass leaf right there. And then I started probably a year ago. It stays in this jar. I do not water it. Look at those roots on the actual top of the plant. Let me spin it around to you so you can see the actual roots. Is it too much of a glare? So that's what it looks like, and I just don't do anything to it. It's got moisture in it. The moisture comes up, it condensates, and then it goes back down into the root ball. So we'll just see how long we can grow it in the jar without doing anything to it. Plants are fun because they're science. This is another way that I grow some of my begonias. This right here is cling wrap. This is press and seal glad wrap that I have on top. In game would be to get like a plexiglass, like something, you know, cheap to sit on top of this thing. But for now, it's hard to argue with the simplicity and the cheapness of this covering. This is my Begonia Kingiana. Maybe it is Kingiana and I made the wrong name tag. I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comment section. You can see those little tiny babies it's putting out, and I think that is the cutest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. And this makes me think of the baby turtles, the little leatherback sea turtles that pop out of the sand. This is what it makes me think of. They're really, really cute. This is my Begonia Milana Ballata. You can see it's got a lot of new baby. You can tell that I actually underwatered it. I think you can see how like this yellowing right here, that's probably from getting a little too dry. I stuck my moisture meter in there and I can tell that it's super dry, but I tried to point it in the angle where I'm not gonna hit those baby fuzzy leaves. I'm watering the perimeter. Is that right? Parameters or perimeters? These are my two new cuties, and I just really like that that it looks like eyelashes. Did you guys ever watch Eon Flux late at night on television in the 90s? Let me know in the comment section. Oh, is that the last? This is the last. No, I have one more, and then that's it.
And then the one in the living room.
And the one in the living room. You need to get the dust off of it. It ain't coming off.
Nope.
I don't know what the hell. That's on the inside though.
It's just gook.
This is my Begonia brevemosa subspecies exotica cultivar. It's called Candy Stripes. It is probably my most favorite cultivar that I have in my collection right now. That's a crazy leaf. I can see when if they were doing some sort of breeding that they would have said, yeah, we'll take that one. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous terrarium style begonia. You can see there's definitely some condensation on the leaves, and we don't have any kind of leaf melting. So that is an A-OK sign that this guy is good for being in his terrarium home. If you have leaf melting, what should you do? I would suggest putting your terrarium begonias into an environment that's larger, like this right here, where your levels of condensation will be spread out through a larger amount of airspace. And then I would also suggest getting a computer fan or like a small personal fan that will can plug into like a USB cord or something like that, that's very low powered, and put that at one corner of your terrarium and point it away from your plants, because you don't want to beat the hell out of your begonias, but you want to move the air, because for some begonias like this picturata right here, moisture on the leaves spells leaf melting. So you gotta get your air ventilation up if you don't want that to happen. Also, don't forget that if you just got your begonia, you're gonna see a lot of leaf melting during the transition process. So don't get confused between transitioning and moisture accumulation. This is my begonia, Trapeolifolia, and when it came to this house, it looked so beautiful and dark and spotted, and there was tons of leaves, and then it immediately took a nosedive. And it was right after one of my friends asked me, how's your Trapeolifolia? And I was like, it's so good. And then the next day, all the leaves fell off. You can see now that it's actually starting to bounce back. I heard it could take several months for that to actually happen, but it seems to be happening for me this spring, which is nice. You can see the vines down here actually kind of rotted away. You can see that the vines up here kind of rotted away. But it's actually putting a new leaf out. There's a little bit of mold starting right there, so I kind of need to tend to that, but I don't want to do it right this second. If you're laughing at my attempt at making some sort of terrarium or vivarium type of situation, rightfully so. I have no idea what I'm doing, but this is my first attempt. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on making this more good, then let me know in the comment section.
Pulled out the deep vocabulary there, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay, that's all my terrarium begonias. Bye. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure and give it a like down below. If you want to see more planting content in the future, consider hitting the subscribe button, because that helps our channel to grow, and it also helps to support me and Casey. Go check out our sister station, Heart Shaped Leaves After Dark. We love you guys so much. Peace out. Later, taters. Bye.